My name is Joshua Aiken. I'm a senior here at WashU studying American Culture Studies with an emphasis on ethnic America and a double major in political science and a minor in psychology. I think my title is a Rhodes Scholar elect. So the scholars aren't officially scholars yet, but I'll still go through the process of applying as if I was applying to graduate school. So the plan is to study for a master's in philosophy in sociology and demography, and that's in the sociology department at Oxford. And I think my undergraduate career has pretty much come together to study as much as possible sociology at WashU as I could. And specifically, I'm interested in looking at the experience of refugee communities, because a lot of my interest in sociology is around identity and thinking about refugee communities as persecuted communities for a variety of identities, whether it's race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, whatever it may be, and knowing that that is the place where I can intervene for people in a meaningful way, and thinking that sociology is an incredible lens to kind of start interrogating questions of what their experiences might be like. This past summer, I worked at a refugee camp doing research during a human rights fellowship in Germany, but I think just as much my work across the board at the university, and then not just the work, but the people I've had the opportunity to learn from and experiences I've had have been a lot of times centered around issues of identity. So I remember my freshman year in Senate having conversations about halal meat in dining halls and gender inclusive housing on campus. And those are nowhere near as extreme in terms of people's identities being persecuted, but in terms of making people feel included on a campus, those are just as important. I already have had like WashU former Rhodes Scholars reach out, which has been incredible, just to have people who kind of are saying, I understand that the day after you're probably just still dazed and confused, which is exactly how I feel. Trying to think about like the rest of senior year, I can't imagine doing anything different than what I was doing before, in terms of I still want to go to my like residence a cappella concerts. Like I still want to be there for floor meetings. I still want to do everything I can with the Mosaic project. I think it would feel inauthentic to kind of change directions, and so I'm in a place where I'm still just in appreciation of all the kind of really amazing opportunities that I get to have on this campus and get to have for the next like week and a semester. I moved around a lot growing up. I grew up in 8 different states. Growing up, football was a huge part of my life, and just sports were a huge component as well. When I had injuries and I was also moving from Iowa to Arizona, it was a transition that allowed me to open doors to a lot of things that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise become involved in. And so just having opportunities to do different things than I thought were the things that the things that I was already good at, or things that I thought, oh, this is what Josh is interested in, and kind of had that version of myself, opened so many doors to kind of a different way for my brain to work. Both my older brothers went to WashU. We are all 2 years apart. So my middle brother Steven, he graduated in 2012. Matthew graduated in 2010, and Matthew is at law school in Philadelphia now. And Steven lives in Clayton and does computer programming, and they're both my role models. I'm someone who is very used to going to new places, and I have like a huge appreciation for what you learn in terms of transitions. It's another chance to learn more about myself and learn more about the world. I definitely want to come back to the United States. I am really, really interested in how the United States plays a role in refugee and asylum seeking communities, and so whether that is refugees coming to the United States, or there's organizations, for instance, that do work around LGBTI refugees, and a lot of those lawyers are based in the United States, even if they're doing work for refugees in other countries. When I went into the interview room, I was speaking as myself, and I was taking ownership of my experiences and the things that I've learned and my own ideas. But at the same time, I think after studying at Oxford, I'll want to eventually go to law school and be able to kind of do this work legally and advocate in that way. I just felt like I was walking into that room and was having the opportunity to show things that I had learned and encountered because of people like Dean McLeod and because of people like the Civic Scholars and the Irvin Scholars Program and the LK staff and just like communities that I've been lucky enough to be a part of. And I like feel remiss talking about myself and not talking about the places and people who have made me who I am.
Any crazy hard questions in your interview, or was it all pretty?
Oh my gosh, I got what was the greatest invention of the 20th century as my last question, and I just sat there for so long, and then answered the internet revolution, and then made a joke about Al Gore, and talked about how the internet has pervaded every like political, economic, and social issue that's happened since it's been around. But I just sat there for a long period of time just being like,